It was, no, it was actually for room baseball. I don't know.
No, I know. What I'm saying is
Yeah.
gambling is usually not productive.
It was an interesting one. I wasn't gonna follow up, but it was every minute and a minute. They paid out $25.
No kidding.
Yeah. So they collected what, $2,000 and no, $20 of things. That's
40 minutes times what, 600?
so they paid $25.
800?
$25 times 20. And they collected what, 2,000?
What was only 40 minutes of the game? Huh? Was there 40 minutes? of the
20,
game?
yeah, 40, yeah.
40 times 25. Okay.
So it wasn't, so I think they made like a $1,500 profit. So that's good.
Yeah.
We're fine with this.
Okay, well, we'll kick this off,
I
I
wasn't
guess.
expecting that. I wake up in the morning, you got $25 in your Venmo account.
Nice. I gotta set one up. I don't even have one. Okay.
Jeff is going to be joining,
He is. Okay, good.
so we'll give him a minute.
Yeah.
You got a car.
Are you driving?
No, not at all, Mr. Blake.
I feel like I'm watching a Star Wars scene or something.
Right?
Yeah, really.
Listen is in a helmet. You got-
Use the force, Jeff.
There was, it's sorry, I'm used to being picked on. I will wear goggles next time though. We can spice it up a little bit.
All right, brother, kick it off.
So I'll turn the meeting
Well,
over.
thank you, Mr. Malachi. For our vacancy discussions, our instructional recommendations, transfers, and vacancies, we were fortunate enough to receive some resumes for our pre-K special ed. And we are starting to try and look at some of those individuals. Shelley, didn't we receive 2 applications?
Yes. 2 within
Which,
this last week.
which is fantastic. So we are going to be interviewing those 2 individuals, and hopefully we can find some pre-K special educators. We do need those folks still. Sorry, Mr. Malachi, we still have made no headway with Italian. And we just had our closings for our principal of ECP, which I need to sit down with the superintendent to discuss the interview process and establish out the calendar for that, as also share with the board. We had 2 internals, and I believe, I looked today, I believe it was 5 external candidates, but we did have 2 internal candidates as well.
So one of the things that came up during our meeting with the RTA, I think that there's a recognition that, obviously there's a lot of concern moving into next year as to what things are going to look like as far as where people are going to be and that sort of thing. And one of the things that was discussed is obviously, building space is going to be a very difficult problem to overcome. So I guess the other way to kind of maybe look at it and tackle it is staffing and maybe hiring more staff to assist. So just hoping that maybe we could start thinking about that process and what we can do to alleviate the pressures and for them this fall in terms of, what we're going to do while we formalize the redistricting and come up with a plan to put up a new building and that sort of thing. So I don't know if that's been on your radar, but just something for us to start really looking at hard.
And we have had conversations since Staley unfortunately closed about staffing, what it looks like this year, what it will look like next year. And I don't want to minimize the conversation, but it's the separation of our elementary classrooms to our secondary classrooms. We have another piece to deal with our secondary, which is of course getting our retirees filled. We didn't have many retirees in the elementary. We mainly had those in our secondary. So we're working with the RTA right now in the selection day process so we can post and fill those vacancies. But Peter, myself, and others have had ongoing conversations with the RTA to support our elementary teachers and make sure that they are able to continue to not only work with students, feel like they're making a difference, but have a clear idea what their home is, so it's not ambiguous to them.
Is there some sort of review going on, or maybe, I'm sure it has been, with the way you've deployed the Staley teachers? Maybe somebody that's here really isn't doing a lot, not because of
Yes.
them.
So
Deploying them more busier.
we've already told the RTA, so in the fall, we deployed them based on building population numbers
Mhm.
and where the anticipations are gonna be needed. But obviously now how many months later, you've got kids that have moved into buildings that weren't there at the beginning of the year. So we've already told them that there probably will be some shifting of where people are. The principals also have the ability to say, I had you assigned as an extra second grade teacher this year, but I need you as an extra fifth grade teacher next year. That's what we're gonna put the extra teacher kind of a thing. So there's
Okay.
two parts at play that can assist with that a little bit. And I think some of the teachers recognize that as
Yeah.
well too. That initially where people wound up might not have been where they were most needed.
Mhm. Okay, good.
The one strong thing I will say is that as the teachers moved into new buildings, and as we've had vacancies come up, and we try to work with specifically our Staley teachers to see if they're interested in moving, we've had very few teachers that wanted to move out of the place where those individuals have been rehomed. They feel like they've established connections, collaborative relationships, and they found new homes. So it's a huge testament to the teachers who have been in the buildings and the administrators, and they've welcomed the staff with open arms, and they've really just redefined what each one of the elementaries is, and really made our Staley teachers, who unfortunately went through a really difficult time, feel very welcomed. So that is a positive.
Just to John's point, though, I think that there were some teachers that felt like they were really overwhelmed in their classrooms and we're hoping that maybe, I mean, I don't know how we feel about co-teaching. I mean, obviously, I think we would welcome that sort of thing. And then there were other teachers that felt like they were fine, their numbers were fine, they felt like their instruction time was productive and that sort of. So I guess, if we could just identify those classrooms where that's happening, where teachers feel like they're being able to get the job done, whereas there's maybe some other classrooms where they could use the help. I'm wondering if that is something that we can do, or if it hasn't already been done, and maybe come up with a plan to offer another body in that classroom, in those classrooms where they need the help.
I think it can be done. I haven't done anything formally, but we can circle around, work with those teachers, and make sure that I think that comes with job satisfaction, that they feel like they feel satisfied in what they're doing, and or if they want to see a change or need further assistance, that we support them in that. We want them to be happy where they work.
Can we possibly circulate a memo then to the elementary buildings, just so that if there are teachers that feel that way, that they can identify themselves in their classrooms, just so that we can try to get them help? Because I don't know that they're going to really take the step themselves to come forward.
But
We've got to be
I think
this week.
Okay. All right. So if that could just be
They're on.
addressed.
When you meet building reps too, I think that'll,
That's Thursday night.
yeah, okay,
We're
good.
meeting with them Thursday.
Okay, good. So if that could be addressed, that'd be great. And then just let,
absolutely.
okay. And
We'll
then
offer that feedback.
Ms. Chichaya we're going to wait till she got kind of settled in, and then there's going to be a discussion as to the structure of the program in terms
Yes.
of her.
Yes.
Has that happened
Not yet. I meet with her tomorrow.
tomorrow? Okay. All right. So we'll just wait for an update on that at the next personnel meeting, I guess. Anything else that's standing out to you, Jeff, in terms of the?
Not on instructional.
Okay, how about non-instructional?
District clerk, since we made the change to a full-time position, we've received six resumes
How about
of interest for that position.
All right.
Okay,
One step closer.
you taking notes, John, because you're gonna have to give.
Yeah, I
personnel.
know.
Okay, that's great. So when do the interviews start?
Well, that's what I wanted to propose to this group this evening. While it's a district hire, I think that I would like to put an email out to the board and see if we could solicit a couple volunteers to come on, interview these candidates along with some district level staff, so we can sit down, talk to them a little bit further and make a educated decision in the process, as well as do some reference checks on the folks.
Okay, I'll volunteer for that, but just make sure that you get with me via
For your
text.
calendar.
Okay, and then if you want to solicit some people, John, at the meeting on
Yeah,
Thursday.
yeah. Is the posting closed now, or?
Yes.
It is. okay.
Yes, it is.
Got somebody in.
And we have experienced people, Mr. Malachi.
Oh, good.
So
I don't know if we're having any more, and that's.
I'd like people that used to work for the district, or
People have been in
District clerk.
people that have been district clerks.
Good, that's
Excellent.
great, yeah.
Okay,
not for our,
Not for our district, yeah.
okay,
correct.
Oh, that's exciting. Okay. All right, anything else?
That's it for the district clerk right now.
Okay.
The building maintenance mechanic, we're looking at filling that position finally. So we have a candidate meets the job spec. So I do not believe that it's going to make this board agenda, but it would be on the next one, which is great that we have someone else. We need someone there. And of course, to start training, we discussed having that stress with the electrical systems, but really we have a great group of professionals, but they're starting to age out. So hopefully we can get someone that comes on, learns this, and is able to offer flawless services to the building. So
Okay.
the MVO position, the on again, off again MVO position, Mr. Meza met with Mr. Whitmore on this to discuss the needs. And in the conclusion of the meeting, Rob came back to me and said, listen, we need to fund the position out of food service. So it will not come out of the general fund. It will come out of food service. Chris does need the assistance. It will be a position just for food service, funded out of the food service budget. So it will not come from the general fund. Chris will fund it, and Rob's good, SEIU's good, and Chris Whitmore is good. And last but not least, we will get the food deliveries out so our students are eating, which there is no replacement for that. So possibly we could get a hiring rec on that tomorrow. I am not entirely sure. I was talking to Shelley about it today. We're not 100%, but there's a possibility we could see that go out in tomorrow's final draft.
Keeping the title the same?
Yes,
Yes.
It's full-time.
Mhm.
So. they can-
full time, but it will
I'm
all
moving-
food service, sir.
Because I know driving this up wasn't gonna be full-time.
Yeah, it used to be full-time, I think.
Excuse me.
It used to be a buildings and grounds person, so we were making them do work for us. I'm sure Chris will have them do inventory work, things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
No, I just figured, I just wanted to clarify that.
And the summer fee keeps them busy too,
Yeah.
running all over.
Yeah, Chris always keeps them busy. And then when the deliveries come in, it's a full days of work, so.
Okay.
We will have those two senior office specialists. One is the Joy position is Renee is moving over to the business office. So we will have one on tomorrow night's agenda for a senior office specialist for John Joy. Tracy will be looking to fill his position. I think he's interviewing Thursday, so we'll have that information coming over at the next board meeting. So we do have some folks to come in for the senior office specialist. And last but not least that I have is you're going to see a co-stage manager on our agenda for Thursday.
What?
We had a co-stage manager for the Stroud production.
Oh,
Stage.
oh, okay, all right.
Stage
Okay.
manager, yes.
Okay.
Okay,
And it's a co because the original individual that took the position resigned. So now we have folks that want to pick up and do that
Okay.
and just share the responsibility. So you will see that. I just didn't want there to be any surprises on that one.
That's just a nominal.
yeah, a little stipend.
Yeah, the stipend. But you know, they provide a great service for our kids, and it is a labor of love for what they're doing. Middle school musicals are tough, and these folks are stepping up to do it, so it's appreciated.
Yeah.
Jeff, that'll be over 2 meetings, the appointments.
Yes, because we'll have one at this meeting and one at the next.
When is the production? Is it May?
Yes. I don't have the exact date, but it's at some point in May. We'll get you front row seats, Mr. Malachi.
I love those things. I used to be in plays all the time when I was a kid.
Me too.
I was too. I did not have speaking parts though, Mr. Malachi.
So they couldn't keep my big mouth shut.
Fifth guard from the left in Wizard of Oz.
So,
And the last item is an item superintendent wanted to raise onto the agenda, which was further discussion on the non-negotiated units.
okay.
Yeah, can we have that discussion,
Exactly.
not this week, but it needs to be the full board, because you're
Okay.
talking about a pretty major contract shift for these folks, so maybe
Okay.
we can do that the Tuesday. I just want to get it scheduled that the board can talk about it.
All right. So if you want to.
Certainly.
So can
We'll
we
try to
put
do a
that-
committee
can
on the
we do
whole.
that? And we can do a committee of the whole, or we can just do it in executive session at the 22nd meeting.
Okay. All right, that's fine. We'll just
Great.
do it.
19, sorry,
You mean our personnel?
board meeting is Tuesday, the 19th.
Oh,
the
then,
next
okay,
one.
so it'll be exec session at the next full board.
In exec
meeting.
session, we'll
General-
talk about those
Okay.
agreements at that time with
Okay.
everybody.
That's
I
fine.
told the group this morning, it was on the 28th, I forgot.
Yeah, BOCES,
Bosse's vote.
Oh,
BOCES
yeah,
vote,
yeah.
Okay.
fun times.
The last difficulty we have is that we cannot schedule a board meeting, a people operations meeting prior to our next board meeting. The board meeting's on the 19th, a Tuesday. So we'll have to schedule that meeting out. Would you, and I'm not sure your schedules, is at this point, do we need to swap to Mondays, Mr. Malachi and Mr. Nash? I just wasn't sure your schedules.
Well,
It'll be May.
We're still good.
gonna have to, no, I mean, I may not be able to play yet, but
Okay,
I went to the driving range today and
Hey,
it
Tiger can play, you can do it.
hurt, it hurt.
So, all right,
It
so
has,
then,
but it
So
hurt.
fifth.
so it would be the 18th that you're talking about?
5th is our first May board meeting, so we would want to meet on the 1st or the 2nd,
Or the
second or 3rd.
the
So
second.
so we're not gonna meet on the 18th. then?
Well, we're closed.
Oh, okay.
That's a half day.
No,
That's
we're just
a-
closed.
Yeah,
So all
Easter
next week
Monday.
and Monday.
All right, so it'll be the second then.
Yes, sir.
go to Monday,
Yeah, please.
still at
Yes,
4:30.
please.
Monday the
Is
2nd.
there another, is there like an education meeting or something?
Oh,
no.
Nothing, no.
I'll let you know. John says no.
I was just there some, it's on the night.
Okay, so we'll go on on their off week then.
I'll put in a big note on Chris's desk that we have that date, a Sharpie.
That's
Okay.
right.
Sounds good.
Okay, that's all I have.
All right, great.
Great.
Do we have to go into exec for any reason?
We got nothing.
I didn't have anything.
Okay,
All right.
thanks,
I love
Jeff.
Okay,
Thanks.
thank you all. Have a good evening, everyone.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Bye.